Welcome everyone, come on in the room, come on in the room. I was gonna have this be able to button this up, but it's all good. Welcome, y'all. I'm so excited. I'm getting myself together because we've been working. When I say it's a work, I mean like preparing for this moment, preparing for this opportunity to serve you in this capacity. And I'm so excited. I'm excited about today. I'm excited about this new awareness that I have about life. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Titus Glenn. I'm a spiritual deconstruction coach. And we are entering an experience called the winter solstice. It's a time to release, let go, to really settle with where you are in life, to really take inventory. And if you was raised in church like me, like this was like winter solstice, that's the devil. But I am so happy that as the world is, thank you so much. As the world is, and I'm streaming in two places currently, and we'll be here for an hour on TikTok, and then everything else will be on the tube. So, as the world is being pushed into Christmas, buying gifts and preparing for a new year, I know in my awareness that this is the perfect opportunity to hibernate, if you will, to hibernate, to really go in, to really figure out what do I want my 2026 to look like, right? And we're gonna read our book. We're gonna get into our book today to start us off. But I figure I just share a little bit about what's gonna happen today. Throughout today, you're going to be listening to music. Well, you can listen to music, and this is not just any music, y'all. This is gospel, the gospel according to conscious music. So this is not Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. No, this is you are more than enough. You are divine. You are healed as you are. But it has that gospel sound. I guess it's the gospel sound according to Titus Glenn. Let's just say it that way. So throughout your day, you can hop over to, I can't say the name out loud because we are on TikTok, but you look at the flyers, you know where you'll know where. Okay, you'll just know where. So I want to just take a moment just to give you an opportunity to set your intention for today. Even set an intention for 2026 and what you are leaving behind in 2025 so that you can move forward. And so I just want to take a moment just to do some toning and meditation to really set our hearts, set our minds for the experience of what we are calling in as we lay down the anxiety, lay down the worry, lay down all the concerns that 25, I'm going to speak for me personally, 2025 has been a year. But this is the opportunity for me to lay down and say, you know what? That was then, this is now, and I can create something different now. So I'm going to give you about a moment just to, if you got pen and paper, if you want to make a memo note, whatever you want to do, I want to give you a moment to just um, create your intention. Okay? So go ahead and do that and just breathe. And you want to say a little prayer before you, and we'll pray collectively here in a minute. But I would invite you to go ahead and set your intention for what you are releasing, what you're going to reflect upon. Just set your intention right here, right now. Okay? And just breathe. And I'm telling y'all to breathe as I breathe because I'm really excited about today. Okay. All right, so let's breathe. And just take a moment here to bring your attention to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And if you're sitting, you can sit on the floor or lay in a bed, wherever you are. Just find yourself in a relaxed space. Breathing in, breathing out. We want to ground ourselves in this moment, so we're going to use the vowel like as in cup, but and we're just going to sing it however, whatever note you want to sing it out on. Let that be what you use, okay? And this vowel is used for grounding to make sure that you are centered, to make sure that you're not anxious, but that you feel like you're in your body, okay? So it's going to go like this. Okay, so let's breathe in and go. Just take a moment to breathe it, breathe that in. Just pay attention to how you feel. Let's do it again. And breathe. And exhale. One more time. Breathe in and sing. Just breathe. Abba, Spirit, Creator, Divine Intelligence, all the names you're known and called. I call you God, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi, my all in all, everything that I need to survive. God, I thank you for today. Thank you for this opportunity that we get to pause, reflect, that we get to call for stillness so that we might hear, see, and know what to do next. I ask that you have your perfect way here, in me, through me, in those that are watching this live, those that's going to watch the replay. I ask that they become centered even now as we go in this experience together. God, we thank you. We let it be so, and so it is. Ashe and amen. Ooh, so I'm so excited. Let's get into it. I'm going to start speaking in tongues. Thank you for the heart, fam. Thank you for the heart. So we are in our book. I believe we finished the second chapter. We are reading from the Four Agreements. If you have your book, go and get your book. Or I ain't going to say, I feel like that was like a command. You can go get your book, everyone, if you would like. Okay. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the share. Wherever you are streaming from, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we are in the Four Agreements. We are on getting into the second agreement. And just to recap, the first agreement was, why am I going blank? Oh, be impeccable with your words. Bless it to you, Hannah. Be impeccable with your words, basically honoring what you say. And so, you can go back and rewatch the videos on the tube if you would like. But let's get into it, okay? And thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. If you're coming in and out the room, just say what's up. Just say what's up. Let me know how you're feeling today. All right? So the second agreement, this is really big. Don't take anything personally. Okay? This is the second agreement. Don't take anything personally. The next three agreements are really born from the first agreement. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. Whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. Using an early example, if I see you on the street and I say, hey, you are stupid, without knowing you, it's not about you, it's about me. Ooh. If you take it personally, then perhaps you believe you are stupid. Maybe you think to yourself, how does he know? Is he clairvoyant? Ooh, listen, do me a favor, fam. Tap, like, share this live because somebody might need to know this. because they are going around, especially with the mommy and daddy wounds. Most people are wounded because, of course, we were kids or you were a child. And so if your mom told you that you were stupid, more than likely it's because they didn't think that they were educated enough or they felt something about themselves that they projected onto you. Just something to sit with. And somebody needs to know that how they're living their life, they're living their life in a way that they're taking a lot of things personal, okay? Maybe you think to yourself, how does he know? Is he clairvoyant? Or can everybody see how stupid I am? You take it personally because you agree with whatever was said. As soon as you agree, the poison goes through you and you are trapped in the dream of hell. My God. What causes you to be trapped is what we call personal importance. Let's say that again. What causes you to be trapped is what we call personal importance. Personal importance, or taking things personally, is the maximum expression of selfishness because we make the assumption that everything is about me. Ouch. If we was in church, they would just say, raise your hand or, but anywho, I feel like we might be in a little churchy today. Whew, here we go. During the period of our education or our domestication, we learn to take everything personally. We think we are responsible for everything. Me, 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 always me. That's so huge. We think that we are the cause. Especially, let me say it this way. We think that we are the cause of how somebody treats us, right? Which is why you probably have people stand in relationships that they shouldn't be in because they have this idea that, well, if I change, then they'll change. And that person's changing is not predicated to you just being you, right? Okay. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. All people live in their own dream, in their own mind. They are in a completely different world from the one we live in. When we take something personally, we make the assumption that they know what is in our world, and we try to impose our world on their world. Let's run that back. When we take something personally, we make the assumption that they know what is in our world, and we try to impose our world on their world. Even when a situation seems so personal, even when a situation seems so personal, even if other insults you directly, it has nothing to do with you. Let's say that again because I feel like I messed it up. Even when a situation seems so personal, even if others insult you directly, it has nothing to do with you. What they say, what they do, and the opinions they give are according to agreements they have in their own minds. Thank you for the share, Beth. Come on in the room. Ooh, that's so important because we are really only treating people how we treat ourselves. And you have to consider when people are treating you foolishly, it's because of how they see themselves, right? And this doesn't mean you stay. You still have to assess, does this work for me? But anyway, if someone gives you an opinion and says, hey, you look so fat, don't take it personally. Because the truth is that this person is dealing with his or her own feelings. What's up, fam? They're dealing with their own feelings, beliefs, and opinions. That person tried to send you that person tried to send poison to you. And if you take it personally, then you take that poison and it becomes yours. Taking things personally makes you easy prey for these predators, the negative magic. They can hook you easily with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. And because you take it personally, you eat it up. You eat all their emotional garbage, and now it becomes your garbage. Ooh, I think that is so. This is, this is so edible, because this year, because of my situation I was walking through, I was having to slow down and really take inventory on who I believe I was. I had a run in with a family member, and that family member told me this year that I wasn't a good father. And I was like, it hurt, because here I am doing the best I can with me pursuing purpose and me living out not necessarily my dream, but I would say an assignment. And to hear this particular family member tell me that I wasn't being a good father, it's like, ooh. But in my head, there was some unlearning that I had to do, because just because I wasn't providing like I used to provide didn't take away from me being present. Come on, that part right there. And I was really shook it. And I had to really dissect, because I had to really sit with the learning that what they're really saying about me is how they hold their parenthood. Like, if somebody think that they're not being good, or you're not being good, especially when it comes to how you're moving in life, it's because they have this idea about what they think they should be doing, that they may not actually be producing it. So now they project it onto you. That makes sense? Ugh. Okay. This is very interesting. What is y'all takeaway? What are you hearing? Because this is so good. Taking things personally makes you easy prey for these predators, the negative magic. They hook you easily with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. And because you take it personally, you eat it up. You eat all their emotional garbage, and now it becomes your garbage. But if you do not take it personally, you are immune in the middle of hell. Whew. And this is so true. When you stop taking on what somebody says about you, you move and you shift to a whole different realm. H. Rogers says it makes sense that whatever other people do is only to do with them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is on the positive side too. When you are encountering people that are giving good vibes, it's because they feel good about themselves, right? So when it comes to this language and conversation around not taking anything personally, it's game changing. This has been a game changer for me, because I don't have to, I can guard my emotions better. You know what I mean? I can move in a way that honors how I feel, will not without being associated with what other people have to say. And I think the older you get, the easier it is, unless you were just born with an old soul, the easier it is for you to really just, you know what? For the cuss on live. F people. right? I mean, you love them, but then you F them because what? Okay. And when I say, well, maybe we should say it like this: F people's opinion, good, bad, or indifferent. Because here's the caveat too. Hey, though, is can I say caveat? If they say that you're good and you don't believe they're good, then it won't matter either way because it's really again what you believe. So they run the same. If somebody's saying you ugly and you believe it, then you take that in. But if you don't believe it, and the same thing. They say you pretty and you believe it. Oh, thank you. But if you don't believe it, it's like, am I really? Listen, but we're talking about the negative aspect. Immunity to poison in the middle of hell is the gift of disagreement. When you take things personally, then you feel offended. And your reaction is to defend your beliefs and create conflicts. Whew. This is how arguments start. Cause you're trying to prove yourself in through somebody else's perspective about you. And there's legit nothing to defend. Let's run that back. Glory to God. You might get a little churchy. Listen. When you take things personally, then you feel offended. And your reaction is to defend your beliefs and create conflict. You make something big out of something so little because you have the need to be right and make everybody else wrong. Whew. Let's say that again. You make something big out of something so little because you have the need to be right and make everybody else wrong. Absolutely, people are traumatized and they can try to project that trauma onto you. But if you have this nugget that whatever they say ain't got nothing to do with me, is really about your internal state, then you can lean in a better and healthy way or back out. It's hard not to take it though when someone says something. I think when we are in this space of working through this agreement, the more you do it, the easier it gets. At first, it might be hard because you yourself are navigating what you believe about you. But once you are secure in that belief about yourself, then it's easier to dispel the negativity because you are for certain that whatever they say ain't got nothing to do with you. Yet it's more about your mental frame, right? When we're talking to those on TikTok currently, it's more about your mental frame or your actual than your or your actual actions or your response. Absolutely, or your response. It is really about your response to what is being said. It's about what are you doing? What are you doing with that energy once they dish it out? If they dish it out and you take gravitate, then you're being drawn into their world or their reality of their thoughts, beliefs, and opinions. But when you dispel it, then you move around it and you gravitate into keeping yourself in a more high vibrational state or a good vibe type space. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. You also try hard to be right by giving them your opinions. In the same way, whatever you feel and do is just a projection of your own personal dream, a reflection of your own agreements. What you say, what you do, and the opinions you have are according to the agreements you have made. And these opinions have nothing to do with me. Ooh, what you say, what you do, and the opinions you have are according to the agreements you have made. And these opinions have nothing to do with me. It is not important to me what you think about me, and I don't take what you think personally. I don't take it personally when people say, Miguel, you are the best. And I also don't take it personally when they say, Miguel, you are the worst. I know that when you are happy, you will tell me, Miguel, you are such an angel. But when you are mad at me, you will say, oh, Miguel, you are such a devil. You are disgusting. How can you say those things? Either way, it does not affect me because I know what I am. I don't have the need to be accepted. Ooh, that's the line right there. I don't have the need to be accepted because this is huge. Because a lot of things are what we walk through as in this human experience. We want to be accepted. Let me talk to me. I have wanted to belong, especially this season. And this learning is those that are aligned will align, and those that ain't. But to get on the tube, on the tube. When we get into this new way of being, we can remain grounded and centered more often. We can remain grounded and centered more often. And there's, well, we won't get into the other piece, but this is huge because when people are mad at you, they will give you a rundown of the things that they don't like about you. They will give you a rundown of the things they don't like about you. But when they like you, a lot of people barely say anything. Okay? And that's okay. Because here's the thing. Here's how life really has unfolded to me. The world in itself, when you have a lot of inner turmoil, will reflect back to you what's going on the inside. And it's up to you to decide what to believe and what not to believe. And let me just clear this up. Because as people talk, right, is really a reflection of what you believe here and how big the noise is, whether it's negative or positive. I hope I didn't confuse you. Because I leaned over into the mirror effect, because if you're getting a lot of negativity, it could be that you believe a lot of things that the people say. But once you start to change your inner dialogue, you'll see that what you'll see, it changes well. And maybe somebody need to hear that, right? But at the same time, you don't have to take it personally, whatever they say. But you could use it. Maybe this is the nugget right here. You could use it as a mirror as to where you need to work. Thank you for the heart, William. Where you need to work, where you need to dial back and make sure you're not taking it personal because you're still healing in that area. And for me, when the person in my family told me I wasn't a good father, I had to dial back because in this season of my life, I'm learning what does being a father look like if I'm not able to provide in a way that the world is saying you should be providing, you should be doing these things that we've made up about what men and women should do. Does that make sense? And so in that, I don't have to take it personally, but I also can use it as a mirror to see how grounded am I in my own adult and manhood. Ooh, okay. I hope I cleared the waters, okay? So either way, it does not affect me because I know what I am. I don't have the need to be accepted. I don't have the need to have someone tell me, Miguel, you're doing so good. How dare you do that? Or how dare you do that? No, I don't take it personally. Whatever you think, whatever you feel, I know is your problem and not my problem. Yes, it will be. It will be. It's being recorded right now. Okay, so no, I don't take it personally. Absolutely. Absolutely being projected on. Whatever you think, whatever you feel, I know is your problem, not my problem. It is the way you see the world. It is nothing personal because you are dealing with yourself, not with me. Others are going to have their own opinion according to their belief system. So nothing they think about me is really about me, but it is about them. You may even tell me, Miguel, what you are saying is hurting me. But it's not what I'm saying that is hurting you. It is that you have wounds that I touch by what I have said. And that is, ooh, listen. And here, this is good right here. Because when you go to somebody in love and you speak in a way that you're from a grounded place, you're not trying to hurt them, you legit just, speaking your experience of them, how they respond has nothing to do with you. And I applied that recently because I went to a friend and I was legit being honest, using my words, making sure that I was communicating in a way and I could feel their trigger rising. And you know what I had to do? I had to disconnect from the experience because I knew that me sharing my truth, their response was not my problem because they're only reacting according to their own healing or trauma. Listen, so here it is. You are hurting yourself. There's no way that I can take this personally. Not because I don't believe in you or don't trust you, but because I know that you see the world with different eyes with your eyes. You create an entire picture or movie in your mind, and in that picture, you are the director, you are the producer, you are the main actor or actress. Sorry. Hilarious. Yes, it's like when someone is farting, you just happen to be in the area. Listen, you smell it, absolutely. Listen, but you didn't do it. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. And yeah, that's hilarious. It's like when someone is farting, you just happen to be in the area. Hilarious. You create an entire picture or movie in your mind. And in that picture, you are the director, you are the producer, you are the main actor or actress. Everyone else is a secondary actor or actress. It is your movie. The way you see that movie is according to the agreements you have made with life. Your point of view is something personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. Then, if you get mad at me, I know you're dealing with yourself. I am the excuse for you to get mad. And you get mad because you are afraid, because you are dealing with fear. If you are not afraid, there's no way you will get mad at me. If you are not afraid, let me say it again. If you are not afraid, there is no way you will hate me. If you are not afraid, there is no way you will be jealous or sad. If you live without fear, if you love, there's no place for any of those emotions. If you don't feel any of these emotions, it is logical that you feel good. When you feel good, everything around you is good. When everything around you is great, everything makes you happy. You are loved. You are loving everything that is around you because you are loving yourself. You are loving everything that is around you because you are loving yourself. Because you like the way you are. Because you are content with you. Because you are happy with your life. You are happy with the movie that you are producing. Happy with your agreements with life. Happy with your agreements with life. You are at peace and you are happy. You live in the state of bliss where everything is so wonderful and everything is so beautiful. In the state of bliss, you are making love all the time with everything that you perceive. This is so good to me because I reminded, how do I tie this in? Because when people are miserable, you have to realize it's because they are, well, how do I want to say that? When people are miserable, they want you to be in their world. And the saying that came up is happy, happy or wife, happy life. Have y'all heard that saying? And I wonder, no offense to women, I wonder how many men are miserable because they live with an individual. They live with an individual that is not happy with their life. So they create a household where everybody must be miserable unless they're happy. But when that person is happy, that household feels amazing. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I don't know why that came up, but that's what this brought me into. But then you have the saying, happy spouse, happy house. And I believe that's a reflection of that people in that household being happy with themselves and how they show up. So it creates a harmonious experience. Is that statistics, H. Rogers? So TikTok says, H. Rogers says, men completely unalive themselves 3 times more than women. That is, wow. Wow. Listen, but I think in this is a conversation because I think men might take things more personally than women. Is that something to be considered? That men, I want to say more sensitive, but I really want to say more sensitive. And it could be because they have not been able to express their emotions. So they don't really know how to navigate their emotions. And so they would have to take things personally as a reflection on them because of their internal state and them not being able to really communicate where they are. So they really can't get the support to actually clean that up. Am I making sense? Man. All right. What people do, feel, think, or say. Let me run that back. Whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. An unhappy person brings unhappiness to everyone else. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Carla, for chiming in. Absolutely. And I think in order to really navigate this experience, this is why you got to learn how to take nothing personally and then decide, based upon how this person is just acting, period, do I want to be aligned? H. Rogers says, We are too hard on men, especially black men, and put a lot of responsibility and projection onto them. On average, I would have to agree, being a black man. And then on top of that, being a gay black man, I think it's a whole different type of environment. And I, and this my spiritual awakening has really just shifted me to really have a different understanding that I can define my own manhood. Absolutely, thank you. And I'm taking good care of myself. I'm learning to take good care of myself, even when not able to quote unquote produce. Um, because I feel like everybody has the ability to produce, but I feel like depending on what climate you are in and how you were raised, especially dictates what kind of pressure you are living on to produce. Okay, we won't go down a rabbit hole because that is, listen, that in itself. But all of this is still leaning to this idea about not taking anything personally, because when you don't take it personally, you get to move through life in a way that is freeing. Yes. Okay. So let's continue. Whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. If they tell you how wonderful you are, they are not saying that because of you. You know you're wonderful. It is not necessary to believe other people who tell you that you are wonderful. Don't take anything personally. Even if someone got a gun and shot you, oh, I don't want to say that out loud, unalived you, it was nothing personal, even at that extreme. Woo. And I listen, this is something to sit with. H. Roger says, I don't need anyone's acceptance. I love and take care of my own brain and life. Absolutely. Hey, hi. Not, is it Netanyahu? But you just think about people's inward state. Like you can tell somebody's inward state how they treat other people. You could tell somebody's mental warfare with how they treat other people. Even the opinions you have about yourself are not necessarily true. Woo. Even the opinions you have about yourself are not necessarily true. Therefore, you don't need to take whatever you hear in your own mind personally. Yo, now we go on even deeper inward. Even in your own mind. Because here's the thing, before I think they're getting ready to explain. Even the thoughts that you have about yourself are more than likely predicated based upon what you heard or experienced through the lens of somebody else. Ooh. But I think this goes back to what we was talking about in the first agreement. Like we become judge and victim. So we wrestle within ourselves because we start judging what we did or said, and or taking responsibility for how somebody perceived it. Right? We judge the experience and then we play the victim like, oh, I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have said that. Right? Versus treating it just as an experience that we're having, and we get to decide how we move through that based upon how we want to feel about it. So we should not take even our own thoughts personally. Listen, the mind has the ability to talk to itself, but it also has the ability to hear information that is available from other realms. All right, Miguel. Wow. Okay. The mind has the ability to talk to itself, but it also has the ability to hear information that is available from other realms. Sometimes you hear a voice in your mind and you may wonder where it came from. This voice may have come from another reality in which there are living beings very similar to the human mind. The Toltecs call these beings allies. In Europe, Africa, and India, they call them the gods. Hey, love healing energies. Energy. Like, this is something that I feel like happens all the time, which is why we have to guard our mind. We have to guard what we are hearing and even dissect it if it's not giving us life. Like, if you're hearing things about harming yourself, like, where is this coming from? And not everybody has, I ain't gonna say that, cancel. I feel like people struggle with dissecting their thoughts. Yeah. Let's pause right there, because that's a real place. People struggle with dissecting what's true and what's not true in their noggin. Our mind also exists in the level of the gods. Our mind also lives in that reality and can perceive that reality. The mind sees with the eyes and perceives this waking reality. This is deep right here, because it's taking me on the teaching that says that, let me see if I can slow this down. One of my spiritual teachers, she said it this way: God is mind. God is mind. And then my mind goes to, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, or Elohim, they. So it's almost like he's teaching from this place that we're incarnated in these bodies, but our mind is connected to the realm where all of us was created in the first place. I know that might be too deep. That's kind of even too deep for me to chew on. Because, what? So our mind also exists in a level of the gods. Our mind also exists in a level of the gods. Thanks, H. Rogers. Our mind also lives in that reality and can perceive that reality. The mind sees with the eyes and perceives this waking reality. I think this also leans into manifesting, like having a vision. Like, you have a vision from God, source creator, but your reality says something different. So you can hear from this realm, but then you got to decipher what you're seeing, which can create a negative thought. Like, if you don't see the resources, you can automatically think, I can't do that. But you could be hearing from a different reality or seeing in a different reality about what's possible for you. But it takes you navigating and disconnecting from the negative thoughts that don't align with what you're seeing and hearing from that other dimensional space. I'm going to set my own self free today. Listen. But the mind also sees and perceives without the eyes, although the reason is hardly aware of this perception. The mind lives in more than one dimension. The mind lives in more than one dimension. Like, I've read this book before, but this feels like it's new information. The mind lives in more than one dimension. It's making me want to go maybe read about the different levels of sleep, because even that in itself might be helpful and healing. Because it's almost like I can see how, as they talk, oh, he has another, I could, yeah, he has another book, the Seven Agreements or something like that. Like how when we go to sleep, we fall into a sleep. We go into, I think it's like the beta, the theta, and all those things. Like, so I can see these different levels of the mind and how they could work, even with psychology and the subconscious mind, and how really we're here in this experience. He talks about dreaming. I'm gonna have to go get the book. I have so many books already stacking up. But even this idea on this spiritual experience, how we are really getting into a lot of people being aware of the subconscious mind and really wanting to know how the subconscious mind, because in this spiritual experience, we are learning that that's what the influence is. Oh, yes, he said that in the, so H. Rogers said, how this might be a dream and when we sleep is the real deal. He says that early on in this book, but if he has another book talking more in depth about it, I'm definitely gonna have to get that. But he addresses that early on in this book. The mind lives in more than one dimension. There may be times when you have ideas that don't originate in your mind, but you are perceiving them with your mind. You have the right to believe or not believe these voices and the right not to take what they say personally. We have a choice whether or not to believe the voices we hear within our own minds, just as we have a choice of what to believe and agree with in the dream of the planet. The mind can also talk and listen to itself. Listen, the mind can also talk and listen to itself. The mind is divided as your body is divided. Just as you can say, I have one hand and I can shake my other hand and feel the other hand, the mind can talk to itself. Part of the mind, hey, geez, is right. Thank you for coming. Y'all, we are in this space of the winter solstice. Thank you for being here. This is a 24-hour experience that we are in right now. And so this is part of this. Like, we get to really sit and be with, how do we want to navigate our reality come 2026? Do we want to take the old mind or the old way of doing things, or do we want to create a new space to where we operate out of a new awareness with our mind, not to take things personally? Sheesh. The mind can also talk and listen to itself. The mind is divided as your body is divided. Just as you can say, I have one hand and I can shake my other hand and feel the other hand, and the mind can talk to itself. Part of the mind is speaking, and the other part is listening. It is a big problem when 1,000 parts of your mind are all speaking at the same time. This is called a metote. Remember, the metote can be compared to a huge marketplace where thousands of people are talking and bartering at the same time. This is why meditation is important. I ain't gonna say just meditation, but a spiritual practice. Because your spiritual practice should invite you to calm the mind. Let's say that again. Your spiritual practice should invite you into a space to calm the mind. Your spiritual practice should invite you into a place of calming the mind. This is why when we get into prayer, prayer is not necessarily asking anything from God. Thank you, Renee, for coming in. Prayer is not necessarily asking anything from God, but it's aligning yourself to clear out the clutter so that you divinely hear what to do. Yes, relaxing your mind, relaxing your body, This is why when you hear meditation, they want you to focus in on your breath. They want you to quiet the noise, right? It doesn't mean that you won't um, have thoughts, but this is really a space to where you train your body to come into a relaxive, a state of relaxation, so that your body is controlled by that realm, that subconscious place in your mind, realm too, so that you automatically attract things to you, that you automatically align. Listen, regulating nervous system is my only goal. Listen, this is absolutely, and I feel like where I'm at right now, that's the language right now. People wanting to know, how do I regulate my nervous system? How do I regulate my nervous system? And what this experience is, well, hopefully, not hopefully, what this experience is inviting you into regulating your nervous system, to be okay with being in solitude and hermiting, right? This is what this winter solstice experience is. And right after this, at the 12 o'clock hour, we're going to actually be playing gospel music that assists you in supporting and regulating your nervous system through the lyrical presentation. If I'm not regulated, I don't feel present. I don't feel like I'm being myself. Absolutely. So that's why we need the grounding. We need the positive affirmations. We need your voice. We need all these voices that are bringing in this light, love, positive energy, because so many of people are living in this state of anxiousness, and the world is shifting from the negativity. My pleasure. My pleasure. Man, the multi can be compared to a huge marketplace where thousands of people are talking and bartering at the same time. Each one has different thoughts and feelings. Each one has a different point of view. The programming in the mind, all of those agreements we have made are not necessarily compatible with each other. You know what this is? This is taking me on. This is, hey Nkechi, this is taking me on the movie. What is the cartoon? Oh my goodness, what is the cartoon where they are living in our head? What, and they're like, they had two of them. Like they have anger, they have joy. What is the name of that movie? OMG. Okay, it's gonna come to me. But she has on a green dress, blue hair. I can't remember the name of the movie, but this is what reminded me of. Like, there's things that are going, maybe like people, things that are in our head that's really navigating and controlling the system. I just had that thought just that quick. Y'all forgive me if I'm all over the place. This is just how your mind works. Oh my goodness. And I feel like, here's the thing. With ADHD, I'm no doctor or nothing. This is just me thinking as we have this conversation, that maybe the imbalance is really our inability to have the tools or be navigated towards the tools, that we don't have to constantly have stimulation of the brain. Yes, Inside Out. That's the movie. That's the movie. Absolutely. Man. So here we go. The programming in the mind, all of those agreements we have made are not necessarily compatible with each other. Every agreement is like a separate living being. It has its own personality and its own voice. There are conflicting agreements that go against other agreements, and on until it becomes a big war in the mind. The method is the reason humans hardly know what they want, how they want it, or when they want it. They don't agree with themselves because there are parts of the mind that want one thing and other parts that want exactly the opposite. Okay, I'm sorry. I just, because this is, sorry, I just got excited. In my awakening and unfolding and deconstructing, I now really see the Bible as a book for the mind. I really feel like it's a book that was put together first to control people, but that wasn't the original intent. I feel not well. Let me say that King James Bible probably was that intent, my personal opinion. But the collection of the Bible in itself was is really language, hidden language that supports you healing your mind and seeing this world, right? So I said all that to say, when I think about the matotes and what he just said about the mind, how like they're all over the place, right? I feel like this is just me. The scripture where it says the two shall become one, I really feel like that is a description of the mind. Like the idea that there's harmony when the left side and the right side of your brain come together. Whew. And that's where the power is, learning how to submerge yourself in, in experiences such as prayer, meditation, breath work that supports you in getting your left and your right mind to agree. Okay, but that's just my thought. I'm gonna have to go do some reading. I've done some reading on the brain, the left and right part of the brain. Um, but I feel like there is something here, something deeper here to get your mind in a way. Okay, I'm sorry. I went on a tangent, but yeah. So there are conflict agreements that go against other agreements, and on until it becomes a big war in the mind. The motility is the reason humans hardly know what they want, how they want it, or when they want it. What's up, Raw Sauce? They don't agree with themselves because there are parts of the mind that want one thing and other parts that want exactly the opposite. Some part of the mind has objections to certain thoughts and actions, and another part supports the actions of the opposing thoughts. All these little living beings create inner conflict because they are alive and they each have a voice. Only by making an inventory of our agreements will we uncover all of the conflicts in the mind and eventually make order out of the chaos of the Matoti. Don't take anything personally, because by taking things personally, you set yourself up to suffer for nothing. Whew. Don't take anything personally, because by taking things personally, you set yourself up to suffer for nothing. Humans are addicted to suffering at different levels and to different degrees, and we support each other in maintaining these addictions. Humans agree to help each other suffer. If you have the need to be abused, you will find it easy to be abused by others. Whew. Yes, you do it. It's a setup for sure, for sure. Humans are agreed to help each other suffer. If you have the need to be abused, you will find it easy to be abused by others. Likewise, if you are with people who need to suffer, something in you makes you abuse them. Oh my. Let's say that again. Humans agree to help each other suffer. If you have the need to be abused, you will find it easy to be abused by others. Likewise, if you are with people who need to suffer, something in you makes you abuse them. You've experienced that before, H. Roger? Mm. Hey, 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 Tony, T Red, come on in the room. And this has been recorded, fam. And after this, you know, you guys, y'all know where to find the rest of this experience. I have to monitor what I say because TikTok will not share this to other people. And if you are enjoying this experience, if you could do me a favor and share, if you're enjoying the conversation, share this with somebody who may need it. And all you have to do is just click share. And whether if you click share, it'll just send it out for you. So, yes. So, it is as if they have a note on their back that says, please kick me. They are asking for justification for their suffering. Their addiction to suffering is nothing but an agreement that is reinforced every day. H. Rogers says, yes, like there was a pull to be abusive to them, but luckily I stayed myself and changed it. But I wasn't as kind as listen, that fight back be something. You know, that fight back be something. When you have an awareness that no longer works for you, you show up as a different person. For sure. It's like what was that Sealy? Was that Sealy? Color Purple? Who began to fight back in a way? Till you do right by me? Listen, absolutely. Their addiction to suffering is nothing but an agreement that is reinforced every day. Wherever you go, you will find people lying to you. And as your awareness grows, you will notice that you also lie to yourself. Woo. Do not expect people to tell you the truth because they also lie to themselves. My God, let's say it again. Do not expect people to tell you the truth because they also lie to themselves. You have to trust yourself and choose to believe or not to believe what someone says to you. Thank you for the heart, fam. Do not expect people to tell you the truth. We need to repeat that like 10 more times. Right? Would y'all say that people are naturally liars? Okay, but let's not say that. Do not expect people, but I don't know, I'm having all these thoughts in my head, the matote, right? But think about this. When we ask people how they're doing and they automatically say fine when it's really not the truth. I guess fine is there's another thing behind fine. But they say fine to make it appear so that they're good, but that's not the case. I mean, they were someone who wanted abuse, if that's okay to say. Yes, they wanted people to be mean to them. Yes, it's okay to say that on a spiritual plane. You can't say that to everybody because people that are not there, they would probably be like, "Who wants to be abused?" I mean, your pure nature knows that you don't want that, but your human unhealed nature is calling forth that abuse. And that could be connected. I feel like this just takes me down rabbit hole thoughts and stuff like that. But I feel like there's a part of you on the spiritual plane that invited it in so that you could heal and become somebody else. It could be a part of quote unquote your soul's contract, but you can't have that conversation with everybody. Wherever you go, you will find people lying to you. And as your awareness grows, you will notice that you also lie to yourself. Do not expect people to tell you the truth because they also lie to themselves. You have to trust yourself and choose to believe or not to believe what someone says to you. When we really see other people as they are without taking it personally, we can never be hurt by what they say or do. Man, even if others lie to you, it is okay. They are lying to you because they are afraid. Now, I remember this line. And so, when my children lie to me now, I use this for my children. Let me just say that, but I just say that, right? I especially use this for my children. I had a current situation where my son lied to me, and I was irritated. But I was really in me. It was really in me trying to figure out, like, what are you afraid of? What is the lie coming from? And I worked within my own psyche not to go into my parent bag or the parent bag that I knew of, going off and snapping and all that, because I knew underneath there's something more else. Listen, it's a good book. I might have to read this every year. And that's not normal for me to repeat things, but here I am repeating things. Man, when we really see other people as they are without taking it personally, we can never be hurt by what they say or do. Even if others lie to you, it is okay. They are lying to you because they are afraid. They are afraid you will discover that they are not perfect. Listen, all this lying in the church. Where did that come from? But this is the truth. Okay. I don't know if it's okay to say this, but I'm going to say it. It might be a little cringy, but I'm going to say it. I think Christianity, dogmatic Christianity, creates the best liars. Because you are trained in such a way that you have to produce a life that appears as though you are perfect. So this is why you have people that can sing and preach on a Sunday morning, but they can't talk about their hidden struggles. Yeah, they can't talk about their hidden struggles because to talk about your hidden struggles would mean that you're not perfect. And I would even say, not just Christianity as I'm talking, being a spiritual leader and influencer. I think there is maybe this is just a religious programming that sets you up in a way that you can't disclose when you're having a hard time, or you can't disclose that you're having a bad day, right? And so this is probably why a lot of people have run from therapy, because therapy actually allows you that space to actually look at all this. I hope I'm making sense. Listen, but in all this, nobody's perfect, and it's okay to talk about your imperfections. Like one of my imperfections is as a creative. Hey, Sally. Happy holidays to you too. One of my imperfections, well, I thought was imperfections, but now I embrace, is my mind as a creative can be all over the place. And at first it was hard to talk about it because it was like, oh, I gotta have it all together. Yes, major religions, that's a good way to put it. And so, like, even this year, with me navigating eviction and moving and all those things, it was hard to talk about because at that time I'm an influencer. Well, I consider myself influencer because of what people say that I have influence. But this year it was hard to talk about it out loud because it's almost like this image of, oh, I gotta have it, I gotta feel like I have it all together. Or I gotta hop online and I gotta make sure I'm put together. Like I can't do this and I can't say this, or I can't record now because I gotta uphold this image. And all that to say, I was moving this year in a way that I was trying to uphold this idea that you gotta be perfect. I gotta have this image. I gotta have this following. And that in itself is will leave you anxious because it's not about the followers. This is what I learned about the year. It's not about the followers. It's not about where you are, because you can still have an impact regardless of where you are. I remember when I first moved out of my apartment and I started doing sound baths out my car because I was like, okay, well, we're going to just continue to do it. And I remember somebody saying, this is really inspiring. And if I had, if I have, if I would have kept that drive and built up my mental space, who knows what I have, where would I have been this at the end of the year? But this is still pushing me back to this knowing that nobody's perfect and your story will inspire somebody else. There's actually this songwriter on Instagram who talks about being homeless, a homeless songwriter, and they've been filming out of their car. Well, they were filming out of their car with all their stuff in their car because they had been evicted, and then they was on the street or maybe in a homeless shelter. But I think it's like you can see their story turning around. And I said all that to say this again, that nobody's perfect. We are all moving through our own experience. And if this is the dream, then none of this matters anyway. If this is the dream, then none of this matters anyway. What you're walking through is only your experience. It's only for you, for it to be experienced and moved through. This is why you have ups and then you have downs. Because when we go to the afterlife, we don't, especially when you know, well, when you have the awareness that there's no quote unquote heaven or hell in the way that we were taught it, then what we're experiencing here don't matter. So you can handle divorce. You can handle grief. You can handle repose and eviction. You can handle, trying something new and starting over. You can do that because this experience is really an opportunity to see that nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And this is why I feel like this is so important because we I feel like this is where counsel culture comes up. When you show that you're not perfect, then now you can't be followed. Now you can't be trusted. Now you can't be so many things that go into this type of conversation. Because when my flaw comes out, then what? And so I guess I got to the point to where I can talk about my experiences, the eviction, the repo, the divorce, coming out of the gate, because all these things are just things. They're just experiences that you can navigate through because at the end of the day, when you're not in this physical plane, so what? I think this is how millionaires become millionaires and billionaires become billionaires because they continually cross thresholds to where they take nothing personally. They take nothing personally, and they have an understanding that is not about it. Who cares? I hope I'm making sense. Okay, I'm gonna get off my tangent. Y'all give me 1 second here. I need to get my charger so my phone don't die. Hold on. And listen, we don't know what anything is for. That's the truth. We don't know what anything is for. Let me see. For sure. We don't know what anything is for. And if we're living in our own reality, whatever we are seeing is for our own experience to have. We don't know what anything is for. We don't know why we're having the experience that we have in our political climate. We don't know what anything is for. You know, we could be having this experience for you to realize it's time to go overseas. But without this experience, you would think that you need to stay in the United States of America. So we don't know what anything is for. All right, where was I? Here we go. If others say one thing but do another, you are lying. If others say one thing but do another, you are lying to yourself if you don't listen to their actions. Ooh, let's run that back. If others say one thing but do another, you are lying to yourself if you don't listen to their actions. But if you are truthful with yourself, you will save yourself a lot of emotional pain. Telling yourself the truth about it may hurt, but you don't need to be attached to the pain. Healing is on the way, and it's just a matter of time before things will be better for you. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. Listen, H. Rogers says, I watch what people do. I think I learned that from this book and forget it. It's all good. If that person doesn't walk away, you will surely endure many years of suffering with them or her. Walking away may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Then you can choose what you really want. You will find that you don't need to trust others as much as you need to trust yourself to make the right choices. When you make it a strong habit not to take anything personally, you avoid many upsets in your life. Your anger, jealousy, and envy will disappear. And even your sadness will simply disappear if you don't take things personally. If you can make this second agreement a habit, you will find that nothing can put you back into hell. Ooh. There's a huge amount of freedom that comes to you when you take nothing personally. You become immune to we've been saying negative magic. The book says black magic. I just say negative magic. And no spell can affect you regardless of how strong it may be. The whole world can gossip about you. And if you don't take it personally, you are immune. Oh, that's what's up. Listen, I'm working on trusting myself too. H. Roger says I've been working on trusting myself. I'm working on trusting myself too, regardless of what I see. Like this is what I hear. This is what I'm teaching myself to know, to trust myself. And actually one of my ministerial mantras is helping me with that. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. I will rest in him who is myself. And here's another thing. Because when we talk about trusting yourself, I think one of the hard things in deconstructing is navigating this principle to trust yourself. But how can you trust yourself when all you have been doing is relying on God? And when I say that, I'm talking about God outside of yourself. So you go and pray and you look for signs, but you don't understand that that voice that you're trying to hear is coming from within. So it's almost like, and then there's this is so layered because it's not just trusting yourself, but it's the thought pattern that you've been taught that you can't trust yourself. Like your heart is wicked and you're a sinner that needs to be saved by grace. So there's so many things that you have to learn. Maybe burned out of me or this I can't find it because it feels different than but here's the thing, this is how I've gotten through learn how to trust myself. Number one, sitting in silence, not moving when I feel like I gotta do something. If I feel anxious when I do it, I have been in a more of a space of slowing down. Also, be okay with making quote unquote a mistake. Being okay with making a mistake because it's really no mistakes, only lessons learned, and having fun through the whole experience. But also different than hard talking and different than good. For sure. For sure. And I think that's a different, another conversation, H. Rogers, is the heart and the gut. Because sometimes I feel like they could be connected. So here we are. If others say one thing but do another, you are lying to yourself. And if you don't listen to if you don't listen to their actions, we read that. Telling yourself the truth about telling yourself the truth about it may hurt, but you don't need to be attached to the pain. Healing is on the way, and it's just a matter of time before things will be better for you. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. If that person doesn't walk away, you will surely endure many years of suffering with him or her. Walking away may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Then you can choose what you really want. You will find that you don't need to trust others as much as you need to trust yourself to make the right choices. H. Rogers asks, how do you trust yourself, like where you're tapping in? Is it higher power like eighth or ninth chakra? Well, I would say, I haven't did the number of chakras, but I would say I don't understand it by the numbering. But I would say getting to a space to where your crown chakra is clear. And I want to say that, let me clear that up because I feel like it's a balance of your chakras being aligned. And I really feel like, because if you're not grounded, then how can you really feel in your body to trust and know for yourself? Right? So I think it's really an aligning of your chakras that supports you in knowing. Well, when I'm clearing chakras, I start with my root chakra to make sure that I'm grounded. And then I'll go up to my sacral chakra, then the solar, which is the gut, the soul, right? And then I move into the heart space. So I'm going from base up to support and clearing the chakras and getting aligned. And even when Joe Dispenza, when he meditates, he starts with the base to pull that, he calls the fluid up into your crown, which is where your pineal gland is. So I would say when you're working with energy, HR says your root chakra was damaged. I guess I look at it as, this is what I would say, and I could be wrong. You don't have to take my word for it. I think the physical thing is just a physical thing, but the energy in itself is something totally different. So your tailbone could just be your physical human nature, but when we're talking about energy, your root chakra is whole as it is. So what I hear you say, I hear you looking at the physical and not necessarily the energy center as its complete state. And I would say working with the energy and feeling that energy and clearing out that energy so that you feel grounded will support you in, I ain't gonna say leveling up, but getting into a place to where you are. Yeah. So physically, you may have some, you're human, but your spirit being is whole. And when I look at chakras, I look at the spirit being and not the physical. All right. Okay. Where are we at? Hmm. When you make it a strong habit not to take anything personally, you avoid many upsets in your life. Your anger, jealousy, and envy would disappear. And even your sadness will simply disappear if you don't take things personally. If you can make this second agreement a habit, you will find that nothing can put you back into hell. There is a huge amount of freedom that comes to you when you take nothing personally. You become immune to black magicians or negative musicians, and no spell can affect you regardless of how strong it may be. The whole world can gossip about you, and if you don't take it personally, you are immune. Someone can intentionally send emotional poison, and if you don't take it personally, you will not eat it. When you don't take the emotional poison, it becomes even worse in the sender. When you don't take the emotional poison, it becomes even worse in the sender, but not in you. This is why people get bothered with you even the more when what they do is not bothering you. I don't know if y'all have ever experienced that. When you could tell somebody's getting even more annoyed when their shenanigans is not changing you or shifting your mood. That part. You can see how important this agreement is. Taking nothing personally helps you to break many habits and routines that trap you in the dream of hell and cause needless suffering. Just by practicing the second agreement, you begin to break dozens of teeny tiny agreements that cause you to suffer. And if you practice the first two agreements, you will break 75% of the teeny tiny agreements that keep you trapped in hell. Write this agreement on paper and put it on your refrigerator to remind you all the time, don't take anything personally. As you make a habit of not taking anything personally, you don't need to place your trust in what others do or say. You will only need to trust yourself to make responsible choices. You are never responsible for the actions of others. You are only responsible for you. When you truly understand this and refuse to take things personally, you can hardly be hurt by the choices, hurt by the careless comments or actions of others. If you keep this agreement, you can travel around the world with your heart completely open and no one can hurt you. You can say, I love you without fear of being ridiculed or rejected. You can ask for what you need. You can say yes or you can say no. Whatever you choose without guilt or self judgment. You can choose to follow your heart always. Then you can be in the middle of hell and still experience inner peace and happiness. You can stay in your state of bliss, and hell will not affect you at all. All right. That is agreement number 2. I don't want to start on agreement number 3 yet. We'll say that for next week. So he's saying follow heart is best guidance. I would say yes, follow your heart, follow what you're feeling, and let that be the how you navigate your experience, right? Because if somebody's treating you unkind, how do you feel about it without taking it personal, right? How do you feel about what that person is doing? Because it's really about, how do I say it? It's really about deciding how you feel about it. Because if you like, for example, let me say it this way. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. when you when you take something in, you get to decide how you want to feel about it. So I would say check your heart space. Check your heart space. How does this make me feel? And do I want to feel this way? Does that make sense? Because I think your heart is very key in moving through this. Not quite. Okay. Ask your question again. And maybe I can clear it up. Yes, tap in and ask how you feel about it. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about what that person said? Because here's the thing. Yes, ask yourself if you want to feel that way. Because you can change how you feel about it. Going back to the example of if somebody says you're ugly, how does that make you feel? Because depending on how you feel, you can now decide what to do with that information. So if I feel ugly after that person said that I'm ugly, then I must feel as though I'm ugly. And if I don't want to feel as though I'm ugly, then I could change and say, oh, but I'm not ugly. So I don't have to take that information in. That makes sense? I would say that there's layers to this for sure. There's layers to this for sure because it's almost like a revolving door. You aware of something and you're good with that awareness, only to be exposed with a different awareness. So yeah. Anything else, fam? What is your takeaways from what we read today? What is your takeaways from what we read today? I'm having to revisit this conversation, this whole idea about not taking anything personally. Because it puts you on the offensive end and not remaining defensive. Not constantly trying to prove yourself. And it really aligns with the thought that you are your you are your own cheerleader. The only person that you're trying to really prove that you are amazing and that you're good is to yourself. And in that, you have to know how things make you feel. You have to know. My pleasure. I had to have this awareness when I was doing a lot of talk about deconstruction and putting it on my Facebook pages and stuff like that. And I was making a lot of people upset. When you start revealing your perception and what you're learning about the Bible. And in that experience, I learned a couple of things. I learned even the more that what people got to say about you has nothing to do with you. I was being called evil, witch. I was being called crazy. And I had to really rest and know that I'm not crazy. This is my truth. This is what I've experienced. And I have to go based upon my experience. And so many things I was doing to unpack, to heal, while standing in the truth that this Bible, this Bible that we were given is not 100% accurate. And it's not the end all be all. Even though we were told that it was, it is not. For sure. It's a whole thing. So many layers to this human experience that we are having, that you have to find what works for you, and you really have to sit with how it makes you think, feel. I just walked through an experience this year where I was very close to somebody, but then I had to look at how does this make me feel on a regular without making them wrong? Because I know whatever they're doing has nothing to do with me, but I get to decide, do I want to partake in this experience? Because you disconnecting from somebody is not about them. It's about you. You don't take what they do personally, but you do take it as information to decide how you want to move in that relationship. Sometimes it's staying, sometimes it's getting out. So I think if another nugget that Miguel is saying is treat these moments like data. Treat them like data. Treat them like information on how to progress forward. If it's not giving you a sense of self, if it's not calling forth your best possible version of yourself, then you are lying to yourself because you're making this experience something that it is not because you prefer to do it that way. Because you could be doing something else. You could be calling for something else. But you've made a choice to use that experience to continue to get whatever you're getting out of it. If you change your feelings, you're not being genuine, I would disagree because if you change how you feel about something, that means your awareness has changed about it. Prime example, I was married for 14 years and I thought I was going to be married forever. I thought I was going to be married forever. And then I had this awareness that was like, whoa, this is not actually aligned with what I want. Not that I don't want to be married, but this is out of alignment with the type of marriage that I want. And it's okay, it was okay, and still is okay for you to change your mind. You just changed your mind, and that's okay. You thought you wanted it, but then now you don't. Prime example, another example. I used to love cheese. I used to eat it. I ain't gonna say everything, but cheeseburgers, nachos, macaroni and cheese. Then as I matured, as I got older, I can't do cheese. And it's not that I don't like it. It just don't sit well with me. There's nothing wrong with cheese for those that can eat it. But my feelings about cheese has totally changed. I'll be like, oh, I can be all right. I'm gonna be okay. Now it's like, no, I can't do that. I mean, if someone is being mean, then I feel bad, but I'm tired of feeling bad. Maybe I don't need to feel bad. Like you're saying, I can absolutely, you can reject the feeling. If somebody is showing up in a way that you don't like, you can move differently. You don't have to feel bad about it. You can show up in several different ways. You can say something about it. You can say something about it and stand in the truth of what you're saying. You can remove yourself. You can remove yourself and realize that this person showing up like this no longer works for me. So many things that you do, but you treat it as if information because how they're treating you again has nothing to do with you. It's what they feel about themselves. But you get to decide how to take that information. What you do, well, you get to decide what you do about what are you going to do about the information that you are receiving. So yes, you don't need to feel bad because people are showing up in that way. You get to decide how you feel about it. It's data gathering for sure. Data gathering for sure. So yes, fam. So we're getting ready to take a break, but I want to just take a moment to ground us before we get out of the live. The replay will be available. You don't necessarily have to be a robot. You get to decide how you're going to be in that situation, and the people that know you will be okay with how you're moving. I think it's about setting a boundary because that's what I feel like it is. When you set a boundary and you realize this is what I'm sticking with, then it's not you being a robot. This is the boundary, and this is how I move from here on out. Okay. So let's just take a moment to breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. And just breathe in and breathe out. We just take this moment to pause and become present in this right now moment, allowing this experience to settle. Just take a moment and just imagine your favorite place, whether that's a beach, being on an airplane, wherever it is. Just take a moment to look at the scenery around. Just whisper to yourself, I am safe here. I can trust myself. I am safe here. And just be still. Breathing in your nose and out your mouth. So, Abba, Father, Creator, we thank you for this time as we are on this journey today. We thank you that we are moving differently, that we're not taking those things personal like we used to, and we are showing up to be responsible for ourselves. Thank you for the courage in doing so. Thank you that we see ourselves in a different way and that we have the tenacity to rest in the best versions of ourselves. So, God, we thank you for an amazing and productive rest of the day. We'll let it be so and so it is. Ashe and amen. Ashe and amen. So we will see you guys. I will be going live again at 3 on the tube, and starting at 12. We're going to be playing some gospel conscious music on the tube. So if you want to migrate over there, we will be continuing this celebration during this winter solstice. So we will see you guys later. We'll sing this and we'll hop out, Just in case you haven't heard it in a while. Hey. And just in case you really need to know, just in case you haven't heard it in a while, just in case you really need to know. Oh, I love you back. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you back. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you back. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you back. All right.